In her book Anthrovision, A New Way to See in Business and Life, journalist Gillian Tett makes a fascinating point. Sometimes, to truly understand a problem in business or society, we need to think less like a data analyst and more like an anthropologist. Anthropology uses tools like participant observation, watching what people actually do instead of just what they say. It digs into cultural assumptions, rituals, symbols, and importantly, it notices things that people don't talk about, the social silences. Why does that matter? Because, as Ted says, in a world dominated by economic models, algorithm, and now AI, an anthropologist's human centered lens can reveal blind spots that pure data often misses. She shares a story from the 1930s that shows exactly what she means. Hi, welcome back to Stories at Work, a series where I share real stories from across the world that you can use when you want to drive home a business point. Our website, storyworks.in, already has over 100 stories, and we are adding one every week. Let's start today's story, which is again something I first read in the Founding Fuel newsletter. Back in the 1930s, the Hartford Fire Insurance Company in Connecticut faced a strange problem. Warehouses that stored oil drums kept blowing up. Nobody knew why. They were all supposed to be taking, safety measures. So they brought in a fire prevention engineer called Benjamin Wharf. Now, Wharf wasn't just a chemical engineer. He had studied anthropology and linguistics at Yale, focusing on the Hopi Native American community. That combination turned out to be crucial. Because instead of going straight to the lab or running chemical tests, Wharf started with observation. He spent time in the warehouses watching workers, listening to their conversations, noting their routine, all without rushing to conclusions. One thing he paid attention to was language, because he knew our words shape how we think. For example, in English, we define summer by a calendar. We say summer starts on, let's say, 20th of June. But in the Hopi language, summer is about the feeling of heat. It is more like an adverb. I'm feeling summery. Neither is right or wrong. They're just different. And unless you compare, you might not even realize that there is another way to see it. That mindset, questioning the assumptions in language, solved the oil drum mystery. Worf noticed something subtle. Workers were extremely careful with oil drums marked full, but in rooms with drums marked empty, they relaxed, sometimes even lighting cigarettes. Why? Because in English, empty suggests nothing, harmless, not worth worrying about. But those empty drums weren't empty at all. They were full of highly inflammable fumes, making them more dangerous actually than the full drums. Now, once Worf explained the real meaning of empty to the warehouse managers, they passed it on to the workers. And the explosions? They stopped. The lesson: science alone couldn't have solved the problem. Science and cultural analysis together could. And that's the power of an anthropologist's mindset, spotting the invisible assumptions hidden in plain sight. Sometimes what we think is empty can be full of danger. What a story. Where can you use this story? This story is perfect for situations where miscommunication, jargon, or cultural assumptions can lead to costly mistakes. It is especially relevant in safety training or cross cultural collaboration across countries, risk management, compliance, also marketing language choices, especially when ads are converted from one language to another, and customer communication. Use it when you want to show that words aren't neutral. They carry cultural baggage and hidden meaning that can shape behavior. It is a great example of why leaders need to step back, observe, and question the assumptions built into everyday language before making a decision. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and if you did, there are many more, actually over 100 more, on our website, storyworks.in. See you next week. Bye for now.